Hi everyone, this is John Doe, aka Franks with the DNB Academy, and welcome to another sound recreation video. For this one, I got this awesome tune by Calyx called Out and In featuring Chimpo, which is a lovely track that relies once again a lot on the fundamentals, and the sound design is quite simple but yet really effective. And we're gonna focus on one particular sound that plays on the track, which is that little kiki stab that kind of does the track for me. It's the way it goes to a higher note and plays like a lower note. Super percussive and punchy. I really love it. So let's take a listen, and I'll tell you which sound we're gonna recreate, and then obviously we're gonna dive into it. As I previously mentioned, this is a really fundamental based sound, all right? So we're gonna focus on super simple wavetables to get us there, okay? First one, we're gonna go into our analogs and choose the basic mini, which is kind of, if we put it in this spot here on the wavetable position, it becomes like a sort of a sine wave, but with a little thumb there, which is gonna help us, right? So let's turn the random phase all the way down. At this point, we should be listening and hearing something like this, which is obviously not there, all right? And it's not even close on the spectrum, all right? So yeah, this is it. For now, that's all we're gonna do. Next thing, we need to focus on our pitch envelope, okay? So for that, we're gonna create an envelope like this, right? It should be something like this. We're gonna set this one as envelope, of course. I'm gonna leave it at 4 notes, it's fine. And we're gonna assign this to the chorus, right? And here on the chorus, I'm gonna make it polar, and we're gonna sort of match it to the 2 octaves, which is 24 semitones here. So now we're hearing this more sort of like pinched sound, right? Now it's a matter of adjusting the way we want our pitch envelope to work, right? You see? It's fine for now, okay? Now we're gonna turn our second LFO on, put it on envelope mode as well. And this is the one that's gonna sort of like shape the volume, all right? So we, for now, gonna keep it something like this, I'm gonna assign it to the level. And now we can make it smaller, something like this, Even though already on the MIDI, the first note is a bit smaller, all right? Because that's how it is on the original. This helps to control it in a lot of ways, okay? So next thing, it's gonna be filter. So we're gonna turn on the filter before going into oscillator B. And that's important, you'll see why. So now with the filter on, we actually don't want our filter to be like crazy, We just wanna sort of control these little too much of high pinches that we get there on our tops. So we, let me increase the master a bit. So that roughness around the edges on the tops is now gone, all right? And that's the time where we should turn on oscillator B, okay? And for that, we're gonna use basic shapes. We're gonna select the sine wave pure, all right? We're gonna put the random phase all the way down. Once again, I'm gonna choose the 90 degrees here on the phase, okay? And we're gonna create an extra envelope. And this one's gonna be like as short as you can get, okay? Something like this should do the trick. And I'm gonna assign this to the level, and we're also gonna assign this to the chorus and make it polar as well, all right? But this time we're gonna go like something like 36, even more maybe. Because now we do have that little, if I mute oscillator A, we just have this little click. And this little click just helps the percussiveness of the track to come forward, right? In a better way than probably using a transient shaper, okay? So now with both these tracks on and assigning both to the filter, we can kind of, you see, control it better. We can drive it a bit here. Right, and now that we got this, we can actually go back to the shape and just tweak it a bit. It's all about this, guys. All right? So now let's flip into the effects tab of Serum just for some final details. First thing we're gonna do is add a little bit of distortion. Okay, we're gonna go into the diode 2 mode, which really helps the sound look. But obviously we need to tame this, so we're gonna assign this LFO2 here as well, just to make it, you know. Now the way this distortion is gonna work better is if we go back to our patch and just bring this basic mini 1 octave lower. Look. So we're finally getting a bit closer to the original, you know, because the distortion added on top of a lower frequency range on our sound, it just makes it sound way more perky and way more bassy. Okay? So next thing will be adding some chorus, all right? Are we gonna go into high pass filter mode as well? Because we don't want to mess with the lows on this one. Just want to add a little bit of, you know, this little kind of reverb to it, because that's what we kind of does in this sense, you know, even though it's obviously chorus, okay? And now let's compress this to multiband mode. Bring these mids and lows up front. Okay, just get the gain up there a bit. Not too much, something like this should be good. Okay. Alright, and now that we got this part done, we're gonna get back to the patch and just give a couple tweaks here and there, you know, just to get some of the details on our sound ready, okay? Mainly, the thing that you can do the most here at this point is just like playing around with this envelope, you know, that does kind of shapes the sound, you see? So we kind of need to find a way that it gets bassy, but not too much. You know? Cool. So now let's just add an EQ to wrap up the patch, okay? With this EQ, we're just pretty much gonna, you know, pick up the frequencies that we want and just control, for instance, the lows here. We don't need these frequencies here. Just like the second hit gets a bit lower, but that's as far as it goes, you know. So now we can actually boost these mids to give the more saturated feeling to the sound. We can make it dynamic. Work a bit on the threshold here. Now let's just tweak it like this. Right. Let's go back to our serum. And now just add a little bit of release on the envelope. On the main envelope, you see? Now we get more of a wider sound. It gets just a bit longer, right? So let's listen to our sound on top of the original just to see how it goes.
Cause every time we're going out, we're going in.
So yeah, this is it. I think it's super close to the tune. Obviously, there's like plenty more things going on after these hits. Maybe we're gonna cover some of these bases on the next video, all right? I hope you enjoy this one, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.